Hey guys, I'm Kate, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the Pixar book tag. I actually found several creators of this tag and I will link all of them down below, but I was tagged by the lovely and bubbly Brooke at By the Brook. For Veda, and because I will be gone on my super mega road trip starting halfway through April, I decided that Tuesday would be Tag Tuesday, in which I will talk writing-ish, bookish, travel-ish, whatever other-ish stuff. Tags! So let's get started. The first question is Cars. Name a book where the characters go on a long physical journey. There are obviously some fantastic answers to this question, like arguably all of the Lord of the Rings books and several of the Harry Potter books, but I'm going to go with Crest, the third book of the Lunar Chronicles. Not only is this one of my favorite young adult series of all time, but it's also my favorite book of the series and features my favorite couple. I am almost positive all of those things are related. The book starts off in space with the titular character, Cress, trapped in a satellite. And then the two main characters crash land in the Saharan desert. One of them is blinded in the accident. They both almost die of like heat exhaustion and starvation, and oh man. It's definitely a physically and emotionally grueling journey, and I think it has such a fantastic payoff, which is surprising for book 3 of a 4-book series. I don't think you find that all that often, and it's just done so well. The next question is Monsters Inc., and it asks, who or what is your most lovable book creature? I think everyone has nailed the Harry Potter answer, so I'm gonna go with another fantastic series and choose Grover from the Percy Jackson series. He's a satyr, he's besties with Percy, all while being tasked with like keeping him alive and safe. He's super loyal, he's a good friend, and he also has his own heroic journey that he's on too, still being able to aid Percy and the gang. And he also seriously loves food, which I can personally relate to. The next question is based off of Finding Nemo, and it asks, who is the best book dad? And I just want to talk about this real quick, okay? Because this was really freaking hard to think of, and I know it's a trope in young adult series that like the parents are never around or they're dead or whatever, but even in an adult series, usually the point, if they are parents, it's not that they're like great ones, you know? So I had a really hard time coming up with this answer at first. And in the end, the character I'm choosing, I wouldn't even argue that he's like the best book dad. I just think he's the most interesting. And that's Mr. Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. He is just salty and sassy. I mean, he can be kind of awful in his own ways sometimes. Like, he seems very put upon by his wife and all of his other children that aren't Elizabeth, but he and Elizabeth have such a great relationship and seem to have such a kinship, and for me, he's redeeming in that. But also, he's not my dad, so it doesn't matter. The fact that he's hilarious is just, he has some of the best one-liners I have ever read before. And I love him. And the next question is Brave, who is the best book mom? And I'm gonna agree with everyone else and say Molly Weasley. Not my daughter, you bitch. I mean, honestly, who besides Molly? Like, there are more great book moms, I feel like, than book dads, which is something maybe we should discuss another time within BookTube or whatever. But I love Molly Weasley. I think J.K. Rowling did a really good job of making her flawed also, just as an example in the way that she treats Hermione in book 4, but you can see how much she really accepts both Harry and even Hermione later when she gets over, you know, the problem she was having. And I don't think anything represents this more than in book 5 with the Bogart scene when she was trying to get rid of it and she sees Harry as one of her own kids, and I love Molly Weasley. Next up is the Toy Story question, and that is asking, which book from your childhood would you recommend every kid read? And I actually have a couple for different age ranges. For like kid, like little kid, I would say A Snowy Day. As for a book that I wish I would have read as a kid because I read it as an adult and just loved it, is The Westing Game. This book, y'all, I was obsessed with Clue as a kid, and it is like everything I could have ever wanted. And this book was written in the 70s, but I swear it does a better job with representation than a lot of books do right now even. And then for a wide variety of books, kind of like middle grade to young adult, I would recommend an author, and that author is Judy Blume. Judy frickin' Blume. Literally anything by her. Tales of a 4th Grade Nothing, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, Forever. Judy Blume. The next question is The Incredibles, and it asks, if you could have any superpower or ability from a book, which would you choose and why? And I'm about 100% sure this answer is going to be cheating, but I don't care. I am choosing Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman. I had the comics as a kid. There's the new series out by Leigh Bardugo, which, right here, baby. I want to be Wonder Woman. I want super strength. I want to be an Amazon. I want the lasso of truth. I want a freaking invisible jet. I want to be Wonder Woman. Next up is Ratatouille, and it asks you to name a fictional food that you would want to eat. If you will remember, I mentioned earlier in this video my love of food, so let's do this. Nectar from Percy Jackson because it sounds divine. And it is. I've had and made butterbeer from Harry Potter, and while I do think I would love the real butterbeer, I also want to try fire whiskey, and I want a chocolate frog. And not a specific food, but two books that made me so hungry while I was reading them were The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh and Nnedi Okorafor's Akata Witch. Those books, I had to actively like make myself a snack and make myself a drink before I started reading them because I knew that just like the authors are so good at like these immersive settings and worlds, and of course part of a setting is the food and the culture, and they would describe it in such detail and my stomach would just be rumbling as I was reading down the page, and it was just the best and worst. The best and worst. Ooh, and also anything from Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. I love chocolate. And the final question is Coco, name a book with an international setting. I'm trying to choose a book different from what I've said before because I feel like I already have a lot of crossover in my answers, and that's not what I want. Even though a lot of the books that I mentioned would actually fit this question. But I'm gonna choose the Shades of London trilogy by Maureen Johnson. And I've actually talked about this series before when I was making a video saying how I wanted to read more books outside of the US setting. And I think since then I've done a better job at that. I think this book series is just on my mind because there's supposed to be a fourth book coming out, and I am so freaking excited. This series has boarding schools and ghosts, and it's set in London, and it's a thriller, and it's just like all of the things that I love. Alright, that's it for this tag. I'm gonna tag Heidi at Listen I Have an Idea and Jessica at JLW Reads. I know both of those girls really enjoy Disney and Pixar. And I'm also gonna shout out to you guys if you guys are new to making videos or new to like NaNoWriMo and you're like, hey, I wanna make a video. Tags are such an easy and great way to do that. And honestly, who doesn't love Disney and Pixar? And books. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna get back to working on hitting my word count, and I will see y'all tomorrow with the new video. Bye. I can't believe this thing hasn't shut off yet. Dumb. That was like magic. I hope this recorded it. That's so funny. Am I psychic? All while still aiding. The next question. Frickin' name a fictional food. I could name so many foods.